Y'all ready to blaze away or what?
We once had a website where we were able to look at the average performance stats of every character. You know how you have your own stats and you can see your defense and your offense? We were able to do that with all of the characters as an average. And Bryan Fury's stats was the best. It was him, it was Lee, and it was Kazuya. Those three had the best stats in the whole game. So even though people do say like Bryan Fury's this, Bryan's that, on average, the Bryan Fury players are playing more defense, they're more strategic, they're better at spacing, they're better at punishment, they're the best in the game at it. So I think that is something to highlight because a lot of people will jump and be like, they're carried. But I think carried is determined by whether or not you're playing defense. If you're getting a lot of wins and your defense is terrible, you would not be getting all of these wins if your character wasn't offensively oppressive. But we already know this, right? We already know certain characters have an easier journey in ranked than others. But also we know that, but we don't like when people say that about our character, like the character we play. But also you should know that about your character. Like if you play Alyssa, don't walk around thinking that you're playing the most fundamental Tekken ever. You're not. It's just facts. Like same thing with Yoshimitsu. Flash, keep out, unblockables. It's not fundamental Tekken. It's a different type of Tekken. That sometimes that different type of Tekken takes skill too, but it's not fundamental. So when we're having a conversation about fundamental, don't get butthurt because you're not included. You know, that's just my take on Bryan Fury so far. Now let's talk about what actually kicked this off. Spaghetti Rip says they can tell you whatever they want. Bryan is 100% top 3 and needs serious gutting. There's 0 point getting offensive in response to my tweet on Bryan. It's my opinion on strength of the character. People can have different opinions. In the past, Akuma has been called C tier. Katarina called the character with no neutral. Kazumi was weak in Tekken 7. I never use tournament wins solely as my reason to judge a character. Telling me to play him is useless. Before the Pakistanis showed up, everyone considered Akuma to be a terrible character. And the reason why everyone made that assumption, one, is because everyone just follows the leader, right? Monkey see, monkey do. But then also everyone judges characters based on fundamental tools. Everyone was judging Akuma as if he was Steve Fox, but you have to look at him totally different because he is totally different. And when you do that, he's actually the best character in the game and he is a monster. Knee says in response to Spaghetti Rip, Twitter politics are getting exhausting. Bryan has only won once in the TWT Master and Challengers events over the past year and a half, yet people are making claims. See, this is why I think tournaments is a bad way to judge the game, and so many people use tournaments as a metric on how powerful a character is. Like that doesn't matter, bro. Knee and Arslan and these really good players prove that they can play any character and do well. So just because they play a character and do well doesn't mean that that character is broken. This is your time, bro, to farm drama, get your views. What's up, bro? How's it going? Why you guys hate watch like that, bro? Quick side note, I'm not gonna go too far on this tangent, right? But think about every player you could think of, they all had a take on this. What's wrong with me having my take? Just because I'm on YouTube live stream having a good time, it's like a huge problem? That's all I'll say because, hate watchers, doomers, I get it. It feels like they're working way too hard on politics. Maybe it's because if they keep pushing like this, Beanie will actually nerf him. This is the thing, Twitter 8, right? If you push hard enough, the developers will take action. And sometimes I think it's fair. Sometimes I think it's not fair. Sometimes I think a lot of it is not fair. If I was a pro player, I would definitely try to convince the developers every character is broken except for my own. Because there's $1 million tournament next month. And if I can downplay my character and upplay all the other characters, that's a better chance of winning $1 million. They have $1 million incentive to downplay. The ones calling Bryan OP are the people who don't even play him. Of course, they can't play him either. They can't prove anything. Instead of trying to win with skill, they seem to choose politics instead. If Bryan Fury really that OP, everyone would play him, right? I do think that Tekken 8, every character is really powerful. So if you are really comfortable with Paul Phoenix, why would you switch to Bryan Fury and have to learn everything from again? Like if you're comfortable with Paul Phoenix, you could cook. There are reportedly 3 Bryans qualified for EWC. There are 3 Eddies as well, okay, but who don't talk about it? 3 Eddies, 3 Bryans. Other characters might also end up 3 players or even more once the remaining tickets are decided, but who cares? The best players will rise to the top anyways. I personally personally think Anna and Nina are strong, so I use them in tournaments and even reach #1 on the leaderboards with Nina. But those calling Bryan OP, they can't prove it. They choose politics over proving themselves. Just ignore posts like that. So bro is quoting exactly what Knee said, but shaped it in the conversation of Yoshimitsu. Knee says, yeah, that's right. Last year, most people kept saying Yoshi was OP and even top 5, but honestly, I wasn't sure about that. He's strong in ranked matches, but in tournaments, he wasn't really a character that consistently placed high. He just got nerfed because all of the politics, it's too bad. So basically, he's telling everyone who thinks Bryan Fury is broken to play Bryan Fury. A quick side note here, let's take a look at the ranked statistics to see how effective Bryan Fury actually is currently. So this is character popularity, right? And Bryan Fury is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th most popular character in the game at this very moment. Now, how effective is he online? He is 13th from the bottom. So eliminator rank, Bryan Fury is not the most played, but his win rate is at the half marker. Bryan Fury for Garyu is top 5, and this is when his win rate starts to tank. This is probably like bottom 15. If we were to look at blue ranks in Tekken King, so Bryan Fury once again is top 5 most popular in the game, but his win rate is a little bit higher. Now let's look at Tekken Gods. This is the highest ranks in the game. Bryan Fury still top 5 popularity, bottom 3 win rates in the whole game for top ranks. Statistically, look at Nina and then look at Bryan Fury. Nina is saying that Bryan Fury is not as good as everyone says, and Nina is stronger. This evidence supports what Nina is saying. Made a video of top players agreeing Bryan is top 3, but don't worry, one of the guys said we're all wrong because we don't main him.
Bryan is top 1. CSP. Nina Bryan. Bryan top 3. Bryan top 1 है. Top 3 है. हाँ top 3. Top 2 है. यार Bryan top 5. Top 3 है कि नहीं?
Arslan, let's be real. Knee has been playing Bryan since his inception on a competitive level. You change your mains every other day based on who's the cheapest. So by this logic, you should already been playing Bryan by now. Knee's response. If I made a video compiling answers saying Bryan isn't top 3, does that suddenly make him not top 3? That's just childish. I feel like we played a 1st to 10, me using Nina and you using Bryan. Ooh, dang. I'd win. You might say he doesn't fit your style, but if he's really top 3, anyone should be able to perform well with him, right? If he is top 3, then why don't you play him? When Lars was called OP in season 2, you played Lars, but you're not playing Bryan, right? That's because you can't do good performance with Bryan. The truth is, you just can't play Bryan. You can't handle him. That's why you're busy playing politics asking for nerfs. The one who wins in a 1st to 10 is the one who has the right to do that. If you can't, then just keep playing politics. But if you won't do it, your opinion loses credibility. I never seen Arslan use Bryan. I don't know if he's capable or not. You know, all the frames, all the tracking, all the movement, all the stepping, all the punishments. He knows everything about Bryan. There's no way Arslan picks Knee's main and then beats him. Okay, before we get to Arslan's response, Knee made another tweet right after this, blitzed it. I want to make it clear that I'm not claiming Bryan is weak. I've always said he's strong. But since there are pro players on X deliberately playing politics and asking for him to be nerfed, I'm responding to that. The intention behind it is just too obvious and deliberate. Who said you'd win though? Next year, Korea-Pakistan main event, let's run it. 1st to 10, me, Bryan, you, Nina. I'll prove it exactly the way you want. They're arguing that Bryan Fury needs nerfs right now. Why would we wait a year, which is basically going to be season 3, and who knows what they're going to do? Why would we wait that long to determine if Bryan Fury is busted now? Like, if you're saying Bryan Fury is busted now, and if you're trying to do this, to do it now. Evo, everyone's literally there at Evo. Some streamer, FTX, Maximilian, someone's there who could stream this event. Stream it! In response to Arslan, Knee says, why didn't you practice when you were shouting top 2 and top 3? By your logic, if he's OP or top 2, why would you need to practice until the next year? His performance should show no need to practice a long time, right? Saying let's do it next year sounds like you're running away because you might lose. If you can't do it, just keep playing politics saying next year is pretty lame. Dang. Arslan looking at Knee's tweet. He didn't respond. He made this tweet that we're going to look at right now, responded to someone with a deleted post 1 hour ago. but he didn't respond to what Knee said 3 hours ago. He didn't respond. I didn't want to point this out, but he was actually the first person to reshare that. I really don't get the grudge. Oh, I wanted to show you guys this. And the deleted tweet said something along the lines of, keep in mind, Knee was the first to retweet, the accusations against Arslan, right? This person was basically blaming Knee for making that situation much bigger. And if you look at what Arslan says here, I didn't want to point this out, but he was actually the first person to reshare that. I really don't get the grudge. Arslan seen Knee retweet the steroid allegations and make the situation bigger. If Knee never retweeted it, so many people probably would have never seen it. So, I don't know. Who do you think is the strongest character in the game? Because, we're having this whole conversation about Bryan Fury, but I personally think Ana's the most diabolical thing to touch a Tekken game probably. Ana mains are carried ultra hard, bro. Bryan Fury does it, in my opinion. Agree or disagree? Even Nina carries more than Bryan. Like, you're not gonna get Tekken King off taunt heat smash. Run the 70 years are crazy. Yeah, I ain't never seen that one. I expect that out of Arslan. Nee says, I used to say that Yoshi was top 5, but honestly, I think I was influenced by other people's opinions. At the time, so many people mentioned Yoshi. I didn't know much Yoshi at the time, so it was hard to make accurate evaluations. He looked really strong in ranked matches, but it was hard to see Yoshi win a tournament, so later I changed my mind. Everyone was attacking every move for Yoshimitsu. His hop kick, his flash, his forward 1+2, his up back 1+2, his spin, his hop knee, all of this stuff. But there was someone in the chat who said a second ago, what nerfs do Arslan want for Bryan Fury? And that's a good point. Saying to nerf a character he's top 3 with no further explanation, if you really want the developers to listen to you, what's the takeaways there? Pros are biased because thousands of dollars on the line for them. 1 or 2 interactions make or break a set. EWC is giving out 300,000 to first place. Total, they're giving out $1 million. And that's the part that should be highlighted. Do you guys think that this is a strategic attack from the Pakistani players? Do you think that the Pakistani players view Knee as their biggest threat and they are trying to target the character to get their biggest threat out the way? Is that the conclusion of this? That's a big assumption. If Knee said this about Ana, Pac would be downplaying Ana. It's crazy that a lot of them are playing Ana and they're attacking Bryan Fury. Even if you don't believe that they're trying to attack Knee's character to make him weaker, like, it's an idea that you consider from time to time. You know what I mean? It's like,